Hello and welcome everybody on stream. How's it going tonight? We are going to be watching Division B-East Jailbait versus Roomba Rotations. It is the first round of, still the first round of playoffs for them. And today I've also got the Crushinator here with me. Hey Crush.
Hey there, Dee. How's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
It's going pretty well. We're going through a bit of a heat wave here, so the AC is working overtime. But I'm glad to be indoors. Glad to be casting today.
Yeah, I'm really glad to have you. I also just wanted you to run us through the maps if you want to do that. Tell us the bands.
Sure. So we started out Jailbait being the top pick, automatically wins the coin flip in the playoffs. The map bans as they went out were Tomb of the Spider Queen, Towers of Doom, Sky Temple, and Cursed Hollow. So we're not going to see any of those today. And our first map, as chosen by Roomba Rotations, is Volskaya Foundry.
I love that map. I'm looking forward to it.
It is a very cool map. I like that it forces team fights and that there's so much prep you can do for all the objectives in this map.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like we are about to start game number 1 here. As soon as the game responds. Here we are. We've got first bands coming out soon from Jailbait here. They opted for first pick. I'm not sure if that's what they've always opted for, if they got the opportunity to, but it is a pretty popular approach, I'd say.
I'd say so. There are definitely heroes in the meta right now that you really want to control, and that can be difficult to do from the second pick position, where you only get to react and you only get 2 heroes at the front of the draft.
Right. Yeah, and you sort of end up having to ban those meta picks instead of a targeted picks against the other team if you're second.
For sure. The team going second is always forced to react in those bans. You see Jailbait has banned away Alarak, definitely not a high meta pick, but could be a target ban over to the side of Roomba Rotations, something they don't want to deal with.
You know, the interesting thing is I did a bit of research on these teams and I did not see a lot of Alarak, so I am a bit surprised. It could be that Alarak just keeps getting banned against them due to like previous seasons' history or something.
Definitely could be. Alarak, when piloted well, can do some very strong things. He also does very well into Mal'Ganis, so we may be looking to ban away picks that go with the tank that they're looking for here.
Mm-hmm. And we see a Sylvanas ban coming out of Roomba Rotations, which is pretty typical for this map. She is very strong here, especially with Merc Queen. She can make those turrets like insane. They can
very strong hero for sure. Sylvanas and Rhaegar are some of the most played heroes for Jailbait, and they're going to grab this Tassadar right away.
That was a quick pick, and these are 2. We get a Johanna and Greymane.
Greymane can do a lot of work here on Volskaya Foundry, can take the turret and the siege camp alone right from level 1. Tassadar, just a very strong meta pick right now. There's not really a situation where you don't want to see a Tassadar.
Absolutely. And, oh, hi Lexi! Welcome to the stream. And hi Valk. And Zul Rules. Welcome everyone. We get a Deckard and an ETC. ETC is pretty popular with both of these teams. I noticed that he's pretty much the most played tank for both of them.
That is true. Johanna and ETC, the most played for both of our tanks here today. Deckard, a particularly strong map pick here on Volskaya, just because of how much setup you get to have with the objective.
Right, and we get an Imperious ban.
I like Imperious on Volskaya Foundry because it's not really a big wave clear map, and that's where Imperious tends to suffer. You really just have to hold that bottom lane, and he has a big impact when he rotates in for those team fights.
Absolutely. And we get a Li Ming ban. Wonder what mage, or probably a mage that they're going for here.
Well, with Li Ming off the table, we see that Roomba Rotations has played some Gul'dan in the past, but Junkrat and Mephisto are still on the table. Mephisto is pretty strong in the meta right now. We're actually going to see a Chromie, though. Very interesting choice coming out here from Roomba Rotations.
That is a very interesting choice, and I'm also wondering why nobody has picked Cassia yet. She is so broken right now.
Cassia, very, very strong. Can get caught out a little bit on those points, but with all the blinds and all the fen damage and all the armor she brings, there's kind of like Tacita, there isn't really a wrong time for one.
I am hoping that Jailbait picks her up here. Nope, they do not. They go for a Zul'jin instead.
And they're going for an ETC and a Mal'Ganis. Very interesting here. It looks like we could have an ETC offlane situation into that Urel.
Yeah, looks like that's their plan here. I don't know how well ETC does against a Urel, though, because she has so much healing, way more than he does.
Definitely very strong in the wave clear and self-healing department, but ETC with the right talents can definitely survive against her, and a lot of stuns can help out in that matchup. We're going to see a Stukov rounding out this draft.
Whose draft do you like more so far, Crush?
I want to see how this ETC Mal'Ganis draft does. It's a very beefy front line, and they're there to protect that Zul'jin as they stack throughout the game. But I think the Chromie might be the X factor here.
Yeah, I think that Chromie, like if a good Chromie can be really scary, and if they survive and they do well up to level 18, Chromie becomes really devastating at that point. So I'm looking forward to see what they can do with this. And everybody on chat, I'm going to start a poll. Let's see what you think of the drafts.
Definitely some very interesting matchups. I think we've got a little bit more of a standard draft on the side of Roomba Rotations in terms of being able to control the camps, control the points, but something squirrely could be exactly what the doctor ordered here.
For some reason, it will not let me start a poll. So, all right, let's just introduce the teams. On the left-hand side here, we've got Jailbait with Kobo on the Tassadar, Frag on the Zul'jin, DB Smiley on Deckard, Coffin on ETC, and H2O on Mal'Ganis.
On the right in the red, we have Roomba Rotations with MJ Doom playing the Urel. Iron is going to be on Stukov. Idioms will be playing that Chromie. Confused will be on the Greymane, and Synchrony on the Johanna.
Already, Chromie's starting on her stacks.
Chromie will be looking for those stacks in the early game with that once again the first time quest. Tassadar also going to be looking for stacks on that Q quest. ETC wants the globes, and Zul'jin, of course, looking for those auto attacks on heroes. Zul'jin actually in a lot of trouble here.
And it looks like Tassadar is really making a lot of progress on that quest. They're pumping up for him. He already has 25 stacks, which means he's hit 5 people with his
Really a fantastic start.
And it looks like actually we were wrong about the ETC offlaner, because Mal'Ganis is the one fighting in the bottom lane against Urel.
That's an interesting choice. Mal'Ganis does have more stuns available more often than ETC for that Urel matchup, but has a little bit more trouble recovering health, so I'm interested to see how that matchup goes.
Looks like he also has trouble clearing those lanes, because those minions got pretty far before he was able to kill them in the bottom lane.
Absolutely. Wave clear, not exactly Mal'Ganis' strong suit. Looks like Roomba Rotations is taking a quick chance at this heal camp and will pick it up.
Hi, Bones. Welcome to the stream.
Jailbait now picking up that turret camp. They are clashing a little bit in the top here. Both teams not really taking an opportunity to interrupt those rotations just yet. But as I say that, Chromie is starting to set up some of those time traps, possibly looking for a gank between top and mid.
Indeed, and they red team Roomba Rotations has already picked up this support camp as well as their turret. So that's an item advantage for them over Jailbait. Sorry.
Very nice little steal there on that camp. That's going to be very important going into this objective A, which should be coming up in about 30 seconds here.
Looks like Jailbait is just clearing right now, and they haven't started on their Merc camp yet, but Roomba has gotten theirs. It's now pushing in the top lane, and looks like Zul'jin has gone up to deal with it.
Zul'jin could be in a little bit of trouble here. Is caught by Johanna. Will they get a pick? You've got a big silence there.
Ooh.
Wow.
That
Fantastic follow-up by Confused.
Yeah. That was really great by Confused and Idioms.
Very nicely done. Tassadar is working on this back camp, getting it done. At some point, Roomba Rotations will have to go up and clear that camp as it was taken significantly later, and we'll have more time to push down that top lane.
In the meantime, it looks like Roomba Rotations are getting their objective time. Tassadar is poking his head in.
Mal'Ganis for Jailbait has come up to try to contest this point. Yrel is following suit, so we're going to have a 5v5 on this point. But Jailbait is missing level 7s.
Yet they're being pretty aggressive here with how they're standing on it, and they're also missing that healing camp that was put down by Roomba.
Iron is doing a great job of getting the slow and the silence, and Idioms is right there to follow up every time.
Oof, not going well for Jailbait so far. It's got 3 dead, ETC, Deckard, and Mal'Ganis.
That level difference really showing there.
And it's expanding too, because we are at 0 to 4 kills so far, and a whole level between the teams.
Taking a look at the XP tab, it looks like the minion advantage is slightly on the side of slightly on the side of Roomba Rotations, but an extra 2,000 experience from those hero kills.
Looks like Jailbait is back now that they have their level 7. They are fighting for this. It's already at 99% for Roomba.
Frag is in a lot of trouble once again. There goes Zul'jin.
That silence from Stukov and the slow really stuck him in there. Now they're still fighting, but it's a 4v5, and Mal'Ganis goes in with the slow. Johanna taking a lot of damage. But can they get the kill?
Jailbait has this big front line trying to get Zul'jin up there for some extra stacks, but the Stukov Chromie piercing damage is going straight on through and causing Zul'jin all sorts of problems.
Ooh! Wow, look at that 4v5, and they managed to get a kill on Johanna, but in return, ETC died. Now Zul'jin is back, so they've got a lot of their damage here.
This objective is still being fought over. Jailbait is doing a great job of holding the point while they're waiting for their members to get back on the field.
Indeed, and that camp, as you said, is still in the top lane, putting pressure, so Yrel has to go deal with it.
Level 10 is very close for Roomba Rotation. They've got a couple more seconds to possibly get on this point, and there are the heroics. Can they get here in time?
You know, I think they can. And this is, if they take this fight, I don't think this will go very well for Jailbait.
Johanna does catch 3. There's the Stukov combo, but they didn't catch anyone with that one. Stukov's going to have to whack him on out of there.
They are still working for it, though. 2 ults have already come out. 3rd one just did.
Looks like Frag has adjusted positions on that Zul'jin, taking more of a flanking position rather than going straight onto the point, and it's working out very well there for Jailbait.
ETC did go down, though. But a lot of damage going into that Johanna, and she has to withdraw for a sip from that well.
It's pretty incredible that even without heroics, that Jailbait is doing so well in this fight.
Absolutely. I mean, this is sort of insane. They actually managed to get it.
Pick it up. Amazing stuff.
They're not even level 10 yet.
In the top lane, Roomba Rotations did actually pick up that siege camp a second time, so Jailbait will have to deal with that before it gets onto the fort.
But
It's got the front wall already down.
Yeah, it's already got that front wall. That's a lot of progress. And it looks like Jailbait is not really dealing with it yet. Oh, now they're heading there.
We'll catch up and see that their lane is pushed in. They're going to have to use the protector to help catch that up before they can get that front wall being worked on.
And of course we expect them to go for that well and the top tower in this top fort.
Looking at the heroics on the side of Jailbait, we actually see a mosh pit coming out from the ETC, so it's not going to be a distant lane stage dive. They want this team fight.
And looking at interrupts, I mean, it's not that many, I suppose. Johanna has her
They've got the
Blessed Shield.
Stukov, and they've got the Blessed Shield, so as long as Stukov stays in position, they will be able to get that interrupt, though Stukov does like to be up in the front and could be vulnerable to those mosh pits.
I have seen a Urel knock someone out of that, like just at the exact right range. If you don't get too close, you can knock someone out of mosh, but it is pretty tricky to land.
It is very, very difficult. That distance might be like 0.1 range difference. You've got to be super specific with it. Looks like Deckard is trying to get some potions around this heal camp. They want to be ready to come in and invade if Roomba Rotations wants to sneak that heal camp again.
Bit of a fight starting here, and the silence is out on Tassadar, taking a lot of damage. Out comes his black hole, and wow, that is a Johanna kill.
Very nicely done by Jailbait to turn that around, and they're going to be chasing down the rest of Roomba Rotations here. The Stukov silence and Dechromie combo did not quite land. They almost had it lined up, but the black hole really interrupted things.
Absolutely, and now they have the perfect opportunity to grab this heal camp for Jailbait. Even though they are down level 13s, they are still taking those fights and winning.
They're doing a very, very nice job with the team fights so far. Control point B will be coming up in just a moment. Urel is doing a great job in the bottom lane of keeping that lane pushed in. It's sort of a long con for the offlaners being ready for control point C, even though it takes them most of the game to get there.
Looks like Jailbait is picking up on the XP, trying to get there. The difference isn't quite as huge anymore.
They are catching up on that hero XP, and they do have about the same minion XP and mercenary XP, so it's really going to come down to these team fights.
Ooh!
There we go. Fantastic
that was a perfect
blow-up
ult by Chromie, and a lot of blow up, and it leads to healing camp switching, or the support camp item switching teams.
Very nicely done. One thing to note here is we see Chromie did pick up that temporal loop, and Deckard does not have a cleanse available.
Yes, Ricardo, DB Smiley is a caster. I think he's the head caster even for NGS, and he is on the Deckard.
That is true. Looks like Roomba Rotations want to get down this well prior to the control point unlocking, but it is up now. They may try to poke it out here.
We have all members of Jailbait here, and Urel comes and flanks them.
Good attempt by Stukov to knock away Cawthon, but coming in all the same is Jailbait. A lot of ults committed here from both sides.
There goes that mosh onto Stukov, but almost no damage goes into him. But never too late. There they go. Got that Stukov.
Stukov down. H2O's in a lot of trouble here. Manages to use those Fell Claws to get away from the Dragon's Breath of Chromie.
Looks like Zul'Jin's really relying on those potions to survive right now. Deckard's doing a great job.
Deckard Zul'Jin is a pretty nice combo there, since you want Zul'Jin to be able to control their own health pool, since they're balancing health with attack speed.
That's right, and it looks like Roomba Rotations are rotating to the bottom lane and perhaps considering invading this camp, but not quite. They are going to push bottom lane instead, since that is where the next tree glove will be.
Yeah, it looks like they want to prep this lane while they can. They know they're not going to have a protector to do it, so they're just going to do it themselves here. But well, Jailbait is taking advantage of that opportunity as well and taking out that top fort.
Which means that this protector or tree glove will be free to go to another lane to get more forts.
Blue team has taken control of a protector.
I'm interested to see whether they take the opportunity to grab this mid fort. The wall is gone and it won't take much. It looks like they will commit to taking this down before heading to the bottom lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't have that much health left or much protection, and that was a good choice for them. Also doing a little bit of damage on that well, which they'll likely kill soon.
One little extra bonus of Roomba Rotations picked up there with this bottom lane push is there are no minions to help support this protector on the push.
They are still going for it though, and the protector is still fairly healthy considering it's almost, this fort is almost dead now. H2O uses his ult to stay alive.
Flailing swipe from Stukov just in case. Everyone's going to get out of there just fine. Chromie sieging onto this protector, trying to knock it down before they can use the lane to re-engage. Looks like Jailbait has gotten wise to this Stukov-Chromie combo. They haven't been able to catch them in that slow silence Chromie bomb since the beginning of the game.
And now both teams are grabbing their turrets and will likely try to fight over this support camp again.
Support camp will definitely be the point of focus. Level 18 is here for Chromie, so those piercing sands are live. That's a big, big damage output for Idioms.
This is where Chromie becomes really devastating. She lands that sandblast on you. That's her and 2 mirrors, so that's 3 sandblasts. And they pierce.
Looks like Jailbait is doing a pretty good job of not walking into this Chromie zone, but is setting up these potions on top of the point. They both want to sort of poke out this field camp. It doesn't quite know what to do or where to go, is wandering pretty far off the path.
Oh, this is going to be a very interesting fight here.
Here they come. Black Hole is sent out, and here come the ults.
Ooh, look at that Stukov, the health. And he goes down to the Mal'Ganis ult. I am impressed by how Jailbait has managed to turn this this whole game around. You know, they were lagging behind quite a bit in the start, but now they're dominating these team fights.
I think Deckard has been really, really key to these fights in small areas. He's done a fantastic job of getting the potions set up well ahead of time and choosing where these engagements take place.
In the meantime, they're going to push this mid fort while Roomba still has 3 members down.
Looks like they'll be able to take this mid keep without much issue. Zul'jin going to be able to output a whole lot of damage onto this fort. Probably trying to push him back, but it's going to be tough to push them away, but still manages to do so as the rest of Roomba Rotations is coming out of the well.
That is a good conservative call there. They do not want to fight under that keep at this point in the game, and they are so close to level 20. So once they get that, they'll have a real power spike.
Absolutely, it's about to come online. They'll absolutely have it for this next objective. It looks like they're actually going to delay this cap. They want to make sure that this camp goes out second. They're going to grab it now as the control point unlocks. I see that the siege camp on the side of Roomba Rotations was actually taken earlier, so this camp for Jailbait will be pushing unopposed.
And both teams are grabbing their more turrets for this objective. But Jailbait does have the item advantage here with the support camp.
Support camp and one turret going to be very useful here. Deckard setting up on the point. Level 20 is going to be here for both teams on this next engagement. I'm interested to see if Roomba Rotations even comes down here. It looks like they're going to be coming in a little bit late.
I think they will have to come down here, but they were waiting to get level 20. They do not want to take that fight down 20s.
They're going to catch up this lane, and it looks like they will take this engagement.
Chromie ult goes out onto ETC again. He takes quite a bit of damage, but not enough this time. I'm looking for that mosh, and a 3-person mosh gets interrupted by Johanna, but not before so much damage goes into that Stukov. Now they're being chased.
Mal'Ganis is doing such a great job of catching the backline, all in those big sleeps and those big stuns.
Tassadar heading back to the point to continue getting percentage on it, while the rest of the team is looking for someone to gank, it seems.
Only Stukov is down so far, so they're going to have to be a little bit careful as they move around the map, as Chromie can get a lot of extra damage on those rotations from a pretty safe distance.
Blue team has taken control.
Protector is moving up here. It looks like they may want to push down this center keep rather than the bottom keep.
No, I think they might be trying to get that win.
It could be going straight for it. Stukov is still down for a moment.
Once they get that fort, they can go onto the core. And that protector does a lot of damage to heroes as well. It's not just structures. Look at that Johanna go down.
Johanna just barely dodging that big slam from the protector. Will get on out of there.
Zul'jin barely misses that Johanna recall. She manages to get it out anyway.
This protector is fairly low, but the shielding on this core is gone. They're going to have to get Zul'jin away from this core best they can, but it looks like the core is getting very close to falling.
Oof. This is a very close one. I think this might be it. Oh, GG. Well played by Jailbait.
There it is. A valiant defense. Stukov was saving those level 20 single-use flailing swipes, but ultimately the protector just too strong at the end there.
Let's take a look at the damage. Lots of damage coming out of that Tassadar and 0 deaths. Chromie did do more damage, but was not able to secure those kills, even though both teams were very close on kills in general, like 8 and 8. But those late game kills count for a lot more than the early ones that Jailbait had. Like they had a lot of deaths, I mean, in the beginning.
Absolutely. Roomba Rotations definitely ruled the roost there in the early game. That Stukov-Chromie combo getting so much done. But Jailbait making some great adjustments in the mid to late game, not really getting caught by that combo anymore. And Mal'Ganis getting into the back line and stunning out Greymane and Stukov during those fights meant that a lot of the throughput of Roomba Rotations was cut.
Let me just update the scores for the teams. Wonder where we're going to go next.
If I had to guess, both of these teams play Infernal Shrines quite a bit. So we could see that here in game number 2.
My cat is being very demanding right now, so if you see him on screen, that's why. All right, while we wait for another game, the second game in this series of best of 3, I will play some music, and I'll see you guys in a bit.
See you soon.
All right, we are back. We are going to Battlefield of Eternity for game number 2.
Both teams actually undefeated on Battlefield of Eternity this season, but Jailbait with 2 games on the map, Roomba Rotations with just 1.
Everyone meet Bendy. This is my cat Bendy, and he wants hugs. All right, looks like we are starting.
Looks like this time Roomba Rotations will have first pick here on Battlefield. We'll see whether they want to control that Tassadar once again, or if they've got a different priority here on BOE. Will be Sylvanas banned again by Roomba Rotations.
I mean, she's still a good ban here.
Absolutely.
She's pretty strong on a lot of maps, so not surprising to see that ban.
Sylvanas always been a recipe for the 7-minute battlefield victory. Not one that I've seen in quite a while, but pushing with an autonomous objective. Very, very strong.
We get another Alarak ban. So that really must be a targeted ban or something that they just don't want to deal with as Mal'Ganis. Because they did play Mal'Ganis last game when they banned that Alarak, as you said.
Yeah, I'm interested if they want to present that double front line again, or if they're... I mean, if I think about it, Alarak has a specific place on Battlefield being able to move people into those immortal stuns. So it could just be a coincidence, but it, like you said, it could be a target ban that these teams have been practicing on the side.
We get a Rainer ban as well, in addition to the Alarak. Ah, there goes the Tassadar, just like you said.
They're going to snipe away the Tassadar. Both teams obviously not interested in banning the hero. They've got other priorities there, but will take it.
And yes, Lexi, this is my kitty, Bendy. He's very cute. All right, we get a Greymane and an ETC coming out of Jailbait. That ETC picked up once again.
You see that they've swapped assassins so far this game. ETC from Cawthon will be played for a second time.
That's right, Greymane just switched teams. Are they just copying each other's draft or something?
Well, the Tassadar and Deckard have been stolen away for Roomba, and Jailbait took the Greymane, so obviously not a fan of their own drafts the last game, but what the other team was doing made a lot of sense.
Third band's coming out. Let's see what they've got this time.
With Rainer and Greymane already off the board, they will ban the Cassia, strong auto attacker in general. Race isn't quite as strong as some of those others, but can put out consistent damage on BOE, and also just a great team fighter.
And we get a Chromie ban.
Chromie actually banned away by Roomba. Trying to possibly make sure Jailbait doesn't plagiarize too hard here in this draft.
Oh, this is so funny. It's like they're trolling each other.
It's the who wore it better of drafts.
Hi, King Andrew. Welcome to the stream. Ooh, we get a Li Ming and a Stukov. Again,
good old-fashioned reset comp coming out from Jailbait.
Stukov switched teams as well.
Stukov was taken away. And take a look and see Zul'jin and Mal'Ganis are on the board. Are they going to pick him up? No, it's going to be Lunara.
Lunara is pretty strong here.
Lunara definitely a lot of throughput on the PvE front. Haven't seen a good Blaze off lane in a while, but excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, me too. I think Blaze is a pretty strong character if played well. I mean, those slows are devastating for all the squishies that I play, at least.
We will forge a great destiny.
Ooh, Varian.
Interesting to see which style they're going to go with. I would honestly guess that they're going to take a taunt here to line up those Li Ming shots.
You know, I was wondering if they might go Twin Blades for the race, but you might be right. I mean,
Looking
taunt is
at
just
the
very
draft
valuable.
of Roomba Rotations, there's a lot of roots and stuns and slows that could make a Twin Blades Varian very unhappy. But taunt is always in season. Have to wait till level 4 to find out.
All right, here we go. Game number 2. If Jailbait takes this one, that eliminates Roomba Rotations from the playoffs. We have DB Smiley on the Stukov. We have Kobo on the, I think that's the Li Ming, yep. Cawthon on the ETC again. We've got H2 on the Varian and Frag on the Greymane.
On the right, in the red, is Roomba Rotations with MJ Doom on that Blaze. Iron will be playing the Deckard, Confused is on Lunara, Synchrony on Johanna, and Idioms will be playing Tassadar.
This is one of those fog maps. I really like the fog. I feel like a lot of the time you could come up with great strategies involving the stealth, as people won't see you moving on the minimap.
Definitely, I found sort of a sleeper in the... I thought that the lightning would be the most impactful anomaly, but I feel like the fog has brought in some of the more interesting strategies for this current patch.
Indeed, looks like that Deckard route doesn't catch anyone quite. Li Ming just taking that position and poking.
This top lane matchup for Varian and Blaze. Varian won't have too much trouble here. Usually Varian really struggles till level 4, but Blaze's damage output is so low that Varian really won't be threatened by this very much.
The bottom lane looks like there is an engage starting with ETC taking a lot of damage. Let's take a look at Tassadar's stacks.
Already at 25 here, pretty similar to how things went for Frag last game.
Yeah. The fog is gone now. Nobody's stealthed anymore.
Everyone is visible. No more excuses. Time to fight.
Lunara Poison's going out. Just trying to bug the enemy team, it looks like. No focus on a particular person yet.
Interesting pickup by ETC, taking Guitar Hero at level 1. That Guitar Hero means that while ETC's E is active, he will heal extra for auto-attacking, so expecting to be able to get a lot of hits on that Johanna this game.
Looks like in the top lane, MJ Doom is taking a bit of damage from the Varian, but he's still pretty healthy and has a lot of mana. And they're both quite equal on the wave clear.
It will be the taunt coming through for the Varians, that they want to bring that root and silence to the team fight. One thing that a Greymane Li Ming comp can struggle a little bit on is getting people in range. As I'm talking about talents, we see a gank in the top lane.
Yep, that Blaze was sticking around a little too far, I suppose, and got taunted by Varian and killed by that Greymane. They are grabbing the top camp here for Jailbait.
Jailbait will get a little bit of extra time on this race. It looks like Roomba Rotations not going to contest with Blaze, just now rejoining. They're going to get as much damage onto this Immortal as possible.
That is quite a bit of difference that they're going to have to make up if they want this Immortal for Roomba Rotations. And it's not a favorable position for them. It's on the enemy team's side, so defending is even harder.
Blaze taking a lot of damage up at the front here, but with that big health pool is doing okay for now. Synchrony gonna have to escape through that top corridor. But, decent defense here. They're gonna have to worry about those Li Ming shots coming in over the wall, though.
Lunara going a bit deep here to try to scare that Li Ming off.
Looks like Lunara is gonna go back and start the attack, because this defense will not last forever.
Even if they just get a little bit more on that Immortal, it will just take away from the shield, so no loss there, just as long as they don't die.
Absolutely. Looks like Greymane having to clear the top lane has come on back, and Roomba Rotations will have to back off and concede this objective.
Ooh. Johanna goes down. She will be back.
Being this
up
early in the
times,
game,
though.
she'll definitely be back.
Yeah. Yeah, Mega Muffin, that's another double tank comp. Very interesting. Don't see that very often.
Varian can put out quite a bit of single target damage, even on that taunt spec with that heroic strike trait. So that's something to look out for if he ever gets a hold of Lunara specifically.
Both teams getting their level 7s at this point. And Immortal is pushing that bottom fort pretty hard, but ETC taking so much damage, including shots from that fort, has to back off.
You find a taunt onto Doom there, but it looks like Blaze will be just fine. Frag very, very low in the back, and they get away from this very healthy Roomba Rotations.
This seems like it might turn.
And J Doom just a pixel off on that Pep Propulsion, almost finding Gotham.
However, this Li Ming is still pretty healthy, and Stukov silences, but not enough. They managed to grab this camp down here for Roomba Rotations.
Taking a look at the experience tab, both these teams very close. It's really only the hero kills that separate these XP pools right now.
And 2 hero kills, pretty early games, not that big a deal. Fog is back, and it looks like Lunara headed to the top lane to try to get a gank on that Varian. And instead she's going to go for that camp while Blaze keeps Varian busy.
This is a nice little macro strategy coming out from Roomba Rotations. They may concede this bottom fort, but it was pretty low to begin with. So they're going to try to control the top lane for the next objective.
And surprisingly there, we had only 3 members of the blue team were here for a bit, but they were pushing hard. That fort is almost dead. It just needs like a little sneeze, and it's gone. Both teams going for their bruiser camps. And Varian in the top lane trying to deal with this camp before it does too much damage, but it has already taken that front wall.
Varian definitely suffering in the wave clear department, going to get some help from Kobo in clearing out this camp. But Immortal's coming through in defensive positions for both of our teams. They're going to want to find level 10 before the next engagement.
Lunara did not go the extra vision for the Wisp, which I think is very powerful on this map. Because you can put that Wisp in one of these vents and see the entire middle area. So it's a pretty, it still has, it's nice to have that vision, but it's just not as good as it would be if she had gone for that talent.
First bullet did go out, but no kill to be found just yet. Smiley's going to knock away the rest of Roomba Rotations, and it looks like the teams are going to resume their defensive positions.
So far, it looks like the red team's Immortal is going down a lot faster.
Those Li Ming pokes from afar definitely showing their value here.
Lots of Deckard potions coming out, though. Makes for a great team fight for in favor of Roomba Rotations.
Black Hole was committed. They were looking for a gank onto Lunara, but Lunara managing to use that leaping strike to get away. But you know who won't get away is Greymane.
That snipe from the Tassadar. 10 minutes in and he already has 125 stacks. Not 10 minutes, sorry. 8 minutes in.
Halfway done with that Q quest, but enough to knock out that Greymane. Very nicely done by Idioms.
And they've caught up. Now it's a pretty even fight.
Looking at top-bottom positions, it looks like the action will be around this bottom Immortal.
Synchrony taking a lot of damage.
Oh, we got a big mosh pit.
4-person mosh, and down goes Johanna.
Here is where the resets really come into play. Li Ming with a triple reset there. Greymane as well, diving on in.
Oh, wow. That was
That's
great
dead.
work by Jailbait. Wow. 4 dead. That is 6 kills to 1.
Jailbait with this double tank setup and high damage backline. Doing very well here on Battlefield of Eternity.
Li Ming's getting a lot of value from those orbs. She did go orb build. And she has a lot more damage than the highest damage person, which is Tassadar, on the red team.
Definitely see orb build is kind of the standard these days, but especially with a double tank front line, there isn't really a lot of room for Li Ming to be looking for that calamity.
I'm personally a proponent of the Calamity build, but yeah, I mean the orb build does get a lot of value. Ooh, Taunt comes out onto that Johanna, and she gets killed in the silence from Stukov. DB Smiling doing a great job. Yeah, ETC's about to die though. There he goes.
1 for 1, and this is where Tassadar can really excel when you're walking away in those straight lines.
Ooh, that turned very quickly.
2 for 2. Can Varian get away here? I'm not really sure. They do have a fort to retreat to, but no wall. Except the one created by Tassadar.
Exactly. Oh no, I don't think he gets away. There he goes.
Very nicely turned by Roomba Rotations there. What they're really looking for with this comp is for Johanna to be able to walk in with that unstoppable, group them up, and then get the big follow-up stun by the Blaze. And it definitely worked out there.
And thank you, Valk, for redeeming your strawberries. I did a posture check, and I took a sip of water.
I think I'll get on those strawberries as well. That back straight.
It's a nice reminder. That
Immortal's actually coming up once again here. Seems like we just had them, but here they come once again.
The top fort for Jailbait is almost dead, but they still have a pretty healthy bottom fort, which is where an Immortal would go. And actually, the entire front gate for that fort is still up. So they are in a pretty good position here.
We are in race positions to start for both of these teams. Greymane is going to have a whole lot of output, but Lunara's damage is nothing to sneeze at either. It looks like these Immortals are pretty close. A little bit of extra health on the side of Jailbait. And now we're into those defensive positions once again. Synchrony is in the back, still stealthed actually.
Ooh, Blaze gets into his bunker just before he dies. Look at that Li Ming. No health whatsoever. And she's being chased by the Johanna. Oh, just missing.
We saw Synchrony taking advantage of that fog stealth, coming right in from behind with the Blessed Shield group up combo right before Jailbait could land their big combo. Very nicely done by Synchrony.
That was a great turn by Synchrony, especially since Lunara was in the bottom lane dealing with the Mercs for quite a while. And it looks like the top Mercs are pushing pretty hard. They got that fort. They are pushing this wall, and somebody has to deal with it.
Roomba Rotations with a great job in that fight, but it looks like they may have forgotten about Frag. As Frag is actually going to grab this Immortal for Jailbait.
I
Really
mean,
managed
he's
to
going to
get on
die
out of
for
there.
it, but...
Oh, Deckard with a nice Lornado, and they're going to grab Frag. H2O could be next year. A nice Tassadar wall.
Alright, looks like Roomba Rotations backing off to deal with that Immortal. It had almost no shield, since they were pretty close on that race. And it's going down.
With those 2 kills, they're going to get pretty much a free clear of this objective. Good job denying value from Jailbait.
It still got that bottom tower, though. But not much else.
Thus ends my assault on hell. I must rest for a time.
Blaze trying to catch up this lane so they can possibly have an engage here on the bottom camp. Deckard a little bit behind, but will definitely be there before this camp goes down. But Jailbait, seeing this, will not engage.
Li Ming with some of those orbs getting damage onto that Johanna. But no follow-up further.
MJ Doom has to take the long way out, but we'll be safe for now.
I'm looking forward to seeing a good mosh. It is up. So let's see if Cawthon can get a few people in it.
Gonna have to catch 3. Gonna have to catch Deckard, Johanna, and Blaze if he wants to go for the full duration for sure. But even just getting a stun for a moment can be worth it in these team fights.
And Tassadar did go black hole, so he also can interrupt.
Oh, that's a good point. Black hole does pull and stun.
Mortals, be ready.
Immortals are back. We've got Mercs in the top lane. Pushing.
Shaman camps aren't going to be ready for about when this Immortal starts to spawn, so we may see a bit of a delay on starting these Immortals if the teams choose to prioritize the Shaman camp.
You and all your servants in hell.
It looks like they are opting for a defense here once again, trying to get a kill before they start on their Immortal here for Roomba Rotation. And of course with the better race, looks like Jailbait is going for that push.
Li Ming showing a whole lot of value, getting a ton of work done from afar. Synchrony could be in a bunch of trouble here. There goes Johanna.
There goes that mosh on 2 of them. Johanna's already dead. Oh, that's a lot of damage on H2O, and he looks like he's about dead. There he goes.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. That turned very fast. I did not expect that. I did not see it coming, because it looked like the red team was in a lot of trouble and we're going to lose 2 more people, but somehow they turned it around and got 4 kills.
That Tassadar burst is just so strong, was able to get in the back and hit a lot of people with that now almost complete Q quest.
Looks like Lunara is putting a lot of damage into that Immortal, getting it to halftime.
Kobo is still up and is able to poke in here for now.
I seek better ground.
Oh no, B-stepping.
And looks like we are in race position, so Jailbait will have to just come in, do as much damage to the shield as possible, but Roomba Rotations burning this down very, very quickly.
There is not much that Jailbait can do at this point except take their bruiser camp and try to hope that pushes while they are defending.
Immortal will be actually going to the bottom lane here, so it'll just be 1 extra camp to clear as the Immortal pushes on through.
Do you know what the pattern is for those bruiser camps, which lane they decide to go to?
The left side always goes to the bottom, and the right side always goes to the top.
Interesting. I don't know how I've never noticed that before.
Being in the center of the map, it's not super clear. The only way you can really tell is by the slight angling of the shaman camp. But it looks like a fight is going on here right out of this fort.
Blue team taking a lot of damage here, and oh my goodness, it looks like H2O is about to die. There he goes. And this Immortal still has full health. I'm thinking they might be getting a keep here.
Keep looks very, very likely with Varian down. Jailbait could put up a defense here. Frag and Kobo doing their best to burn this down, but the keep already at half health.
Indestructible value coming in for that Johanna.
Johanna has definitely been the target so far this game, so Indestructible makes a lot of sense here at level 20.
Absolutely, and she got a really nice route into the fort while it was doing damage to her, so almost killed her. Actually, it did kill her because the shield came up.
It was but a scratch.
That was great catch-up. We were at 3 structures to 2, and now we are at 1 to 2. And level 20s in favor of Roomba Rotations.
Jailbait sensing the rotation from the Roombas will get on out of there and concede the top camp.
Much easier to defend that than try to fight for it down level 20s.
Shaman Camp is available for Roomba Rotations, while it is not going to be available for Jailbait. We could see a possible invade here as level 20s have arrived for Jailbait.
You know, I think that might be an aggressive move. I don't know if they are really feeling that aggressive right now.
Synchrony feeling aggressive, going for that Blessed Shield, but not quite landing.
Right, that did not land.
We immortals shall return before long, heroes.
Looks like you were correct. Jailbait is currently trapped on their side of the map dealing with these lanes, so Roomba Rotation will grab this camp. We do actually see a Bottomless Flask pickup for Deckard. Not one that I see an awful lot on level 20, but since these fights tend to happen in one place for a very long time, we could see some value in that talent.
That's true. What is the more popular option in your experience?
I think I see a lot of Respect the Elderly coming out for Deckard, but from the discussions that we've had in the various discords, there does seem to be a lot of good reasons to take multiple talents on Deckard.
I really like it when a hero has options like that. You know, it's not as fun to play a hero where there's really only one viable build.
Absolutely. I like assessing the game, seeing what makes the most sense, and actually being able to grab value out of that by changing the playstyle a little bit.
A lot of damage going into MG Doom from those Leaming Orbs. And now Roomba Rotations is able to push on that Immortal a bit, get some damage in.
Bottom lane is pushed up to the core for the side of Roomba Rotations. That's 3 catapults, and Frag will have to go back and deal with that.
Are they going to try to take this Bruiser camp or defend instead? Looks like they are going for the defense. We really need a good mosh here. Great taunt onto that Johanna. Oh my goodness, Indestructible value again. Saves her life, and ETC goes down, but eventually Johanna
You have a
does
death
die.
mosh. Johanna did end up falling after that Indestructible. That is 3 kills. Now 4 kills for Roomba Rotations, and with a keep open in the bottom lane, it looks like they're going to head on down and start on this core.
Yep, this is GG, and looks like we are going to game number 3. Which is my favorite game always.
Very, very nicely played here from Roomba Rotations, getting a lot of value out of that Lunara race. And Iron being able to set up those Deckard potions. Really, Deckard having a lot of value in both of these games today.
It is really nice to see teams that are this closely matched. You know, they're both close games.
Both very, very close here, but it will have to be decided on a game 3.
Indeed. we have the same situation, I think, that we saw last game, where the losing team did more damage, but did not have as many kills.
Li Ming just putting out so many big orbs, getting a lot of damage onto that Immortal from afar, really doing what Li Ming is known for on this map, but not quite getting the resets that they wanted. They had one big reset fight there in the middle of the game, but overall, Deckard really doing a great job of keeping Roomba Rotations healthy and preventing those big resets.
Indeed, and I think that's part of my gripe with the orb leaming build, is that you get a lot of damage, but not as many kills, because that Calamity is made specifically for that, where you just pour it in, get that kill, get the reset, and do it all over again.
Absolutely. Trading that safety for one extra damage source can really be the turning point in those Li Ming comps.
Thank you for the follow, Harkin Giant Spain. And welcome everybody on stream. We've got a few new viewers. But everybody's so quiet. Valcomer says, indestructible means no radiating faith. Half mosh, half cooldown.
That is true. I think in this game in particular, Johanna was the target of Varian Taunt and the Stukov Silence so often that I can definitely see why the Indestructible was picked up. If Jailbait had been focusing on other targets, I think that Radiating Faith could have been the pick at 20.
Yeah, that's true. And look at that. Johanna's deaths 5 compared to 2 at most on the rest of her team. So she was definitely being targeted very hard. It looks like we are going to a game number 3.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just saying that with the Deckard healing, Deckard with those potions does a great job of keeping pretty much everyone except the front line healed up at all times. Johanna going to have a tough time grabbing those extra potions for sure.
And on game number 3, we are going to Infernal Shrines.
Infernal Shrines, one of the most played maps for both of these teams, both actually at 50% win rates.
Team number 1 so Jailbait has picked first pick. So this map was picked by Roomba Rotations.
Interested to see whether Tassadar gets banned this game or if they continue with the Sylvanas Rhaegar bans. Here for game number 3. Tassadar is 2-0 in this series, and also Deckard 2-0. Ando, I should say.
Ooh, Lexi, what did you draw? I want to see. Send it in Discord. Looks
One
like
hero that hasn't come up for either team so far is Zool. I'm interested to see whether Zool is contested on a map like Infernal Shrines.
Infernal Shrine.
You know, I think he is pretty powerful on this map. Great at double soaking, if needed. So let's see whether a team picks him up. He's also great at the shrine if he goes Cursed Strikes.
His team fight isn't quite as strong as some of these offlaners that these teams have been picking, and the team fight has definitely been the focus in these first 2 games. But in a game number 3, you've got to pull something out of the back pocket to take the series. So I think Zool could be an X factor if the teams decide to go in that direction.
You know, I didn't see a lot of Zool in their history for their offlaners. So I wonder if that's just, you know, been banned often, or if they just don't really have a Zool player.
The only Zool I saw in the list for these guys was H2O has played a little bit of Zool, just a couple games. But for these teams, it could be more of a when we have the opportunity rather than trying to really slot it in there.
And we did not see an Alarak ban first. We saw a Rainer from Jailbait. Wonder if this one's going to be the Alarak.
Could be. Alarak doesn't have that map advantage like on BOE, but it was banned on Volskaya. It's actually going to be a Grey main ban. Just wanting to control those backline auto attackers.
Yep, and the Sylvanas ban has been pretty consistent all 3 games.
With Raynor and Grey main banned, I wonder if they go through with the Rhaegar ban, because those two are very common with Bloodlust strats. They're going to stick with it.
All right, first pick coming up. Do we see a Cassia? Nope. It's that Tassadar. Every game.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Roomba Rotations will respond with an ETC pick, or if they're happy with that Johanna.
They have picked Johanna the first game and the second game, right? Both games. Ooh, there
They're going
goes
to
the
grab
Cassia.
that Deckard.
Yes, Cassia.
Cassia, very, very strong here. Deckard and Tassadar are both 2-0 in this series. So one of them has to lose one of these games. We'll see which one it's going to be. I think the Cassia definitely a strong pick in that first rotation. Locking in your tank and your healer in the first 2 spots can present some problems. Really narrows down draft opportunities later. So I think it's a good thing to grab the Cassia alongside the Deckard.
And we're going to see an Ana that's fairly new here. And an ETC, which has been picked up pretty much every game for Jailbait.
Ana, not one that DB Smiley has played a whole lot so far this season, though it is something that Iron has played a lot. Interested to see what their option is going to be with that Ana, because usually you don't put the nano boost on a Tassadar. I suppose it can do some extra damage with faster Qs, but normally we see it with something like a Li Ming or even a Malthael.
Or a Jaina.
Jaina absolutely can come through. We could have a nice double burst mage comp coming out from Jailbait. It is Zul Jin that's banned away, and there is that Alarak ban once again.
That is a very strange ban, I've got to say.
They must know something that we don't, because Alarak definitely does not show up in the history, though I didn't check like quick match Hero League history and anything like that. They seem very uninterested in playing against the High Lord.
We get a Sonya. I love Sonya. She's my favorite bruiser. She's just so much fun.
With the Sonya on the field, I think my hopes for Azul may be dashed. Sonya definitely heavily picked into Zul being able to spin on those skeletons. And it's gonna be a Cho'Gall!
Oh my god.
When I was running through the nano boost targets in my head, I didn't consider them.
We got a
Gall
2
with
bruisers.
those extra casts can get a whole lot done, and it's going to be a Malthael in response to try to take down the big boy.
Wow. A double bruiser, and Cassia's their only source of damage, but I mean, she puts out more than enough damage. But can she keep up with Tassadar and Gall? Especially a nano boosted Gall.
Deckard has a ton of healing output, but that's a lot of damage coming their way. It's also kind of difficult to hold a position against Cho'Gall because he just charges in and blasts everyone out of an area. It could be knocking people away from those potions.
I'm really looking forward to this game. I think this is not the first time they played Cho'Gall in this series or in this season.
Very, very interesting drafts here from both of our teams. The Malthael definitely picked up in response. But the rest of the draft, not that. I mean, Sonya can do a lot of damage to a Cho'Gall. Cassia's damage is just high overall. So this Cho'Gall definitely not uncountered here.
All right, let me introduce the teams. We've got Cawthon on ETC once again. We've got Frag on Tassadar. We've got DB Smiley on Ana. We've got H2O on Cho. And what's he called? Something Kobo? on the Gall.
On the right in the red, Roomba Rotations, MJ Doom on the Sonya. Idioms will be playing Malthael. Synchrony once again on the Johanna. Iron on that Deckard. And Confused playing Cassia. H2O Kobo controlling that vision with the eye of Cho'Gall. I can't remember what that thing is called. A quick stun there on the Malthael, but manages to warp on through.
Ooh, diving really deep, that Johanna. Taking a lot of damage, but she does not manage to secure that kill on Tassadar.
Interestingly enough, it looks like Cho'Gall is going to be covering this top lane for now. Malthael did take on a Pale Horse, so we can expect to see some double soaking coming out from them.
It looks like Malthael is getting a head start on this Bruiser camp pretty early on as soon as it comes out. And trying to steal it from the blue team, who likely won't think about it yet.
Idiom's damage not that quick, but being able to heal off those 3 minions from the Shaman camp, it looks like Jailbait is none the wiser here.
Wow, did not see that call coming.
Taking advantage of that one less body on the map of Jailbait's. Very nice job by Roomba Rotations. That Shaman camp is going to proxy this lane and cause H2O Kobo to have to head on back. But Idioms may pay the price here in the middle lane, taken out by Cawthon.
In the bottom lane, it looks like Roomba Rotations have managed to pick up the siege camp here as well. While Cho'Gall has reached the top lane and is pushing on this wall pretty hard. Got quite a bit of damage.
Malthael on the way back. He's going to have to be careful here.
Prepare yourselves for the slaughter.
Idiom's having a good time with our Cho'Gall in the top lane. Shrine will be activating shortly. It is a mortar shrine in the mid lane here. Cho'Gall can do a lot to create space on this shrine, and Tassadar can get it clear from a pretty safe distance as well.
Looks like both teams are on the shrine. MJ Doom is a bit low on health. He's going to pick up some of those Decker Potions, but take more damage. Tassadar able to get that long range. But as you see here, Tassadar does not have as many stacks as the previous 2 games. We are already 3.5 minutes in, and he's still only at 35 stacks.
We did see Sonya go down to that Tassadar damage, but it looks like Tassadar will pay the price. Roomba Rotations keeps control of this shrine.
Looks like Gall heads to the top lane for a sip and is coming back.
Up to nearly 30 minion kills is Roomba Rotations. Synchrony having a bit of trouble there on the front. Manages to retreat back to those Deckard Potions.
And this one is definitely going to Roomba Rotations. That Tassadar death was just very untimely for them.
Tassadar, a lot of their long-range poke could have possibly brought Jailbait that Punisher, but a very good kill there means Roomba Rotations gets the first push.
Gall is in a bit of trouble in the top lane with both Sonya and Malthael ganging up on him. And in the mid lane, the red team's also pushing for the support. They managed to get that entire front wall and a little bit of damage onto that fort.
Cho'Gall does pick up some talents in the late game that make him quite a force, but in this early part, he does suffer a little bit, especially into that percent damage coming out from Malthael.
Looks like Roomba Rotations is able to steal this camp as well, while Cho and Gall are both in the top lane, so, you know, they're busy.
Kills very even, and XP actually very even for our two teams so far. Jailbait is ahead on that minion XP for the meantime, and XP in other areas pretty much the same, except for the mercenary lead on the side of Roomba Rotations.
Another camp being grabbed by Roomba Rotations here in the bottom lane.
That extra experience lead definitely starting to help out here as they're opening up a about a half a level experience lead. Saw ATC keeping an eye on that back Shaman camp, making sure that Malthael wasn't trying to steal it again.
Looks like Malthael is doing the double soaking, and Sonia's roaming with the group right now.
On a Pale Horse, definitely getting value for the Malthael. Looks like ETC will be trying to cover those off lanes while Cho'Gall stays with the group. Probably a good switch there since Cho'Gall was getting a lot of punishment from the Sonya Malthael combo.
And right now, Jailbait does not want to go in down level 10s. There they go.
Tens
They
have just
got it.
arrived. We are going to see the Twisting Nether from Gall and the Hammer of Twilight from Cho. Hammer of Twilight going to be doing a good job of maintaining space and knocking away Roomba Rotations from the position they want to hold with those Deckard potions.
A bit of a counter synergy, though, there with the Gall ult, so let's hope they manage to communicate that well enough.
That is true, not going for the more classic upheaval Twisting Nether combo. Going to have to rely mostly on the Tassadar to get everyone still. Interestingly enough, we also see a stage dive from the ETC, so we may see that more off-lane build coming through from Cawthon.
His name sounds a lot like coffin when you when you try to say it, you know.
Whole Cawthon the ETC. That's where you end up when you face him.
All right, they are managing to grab their bruiser camp here on Jailbait. Not stolen this time. Map was painted pretty red with Malthael stealing all the camps.
Sonya getting a good lead on this top shrine, grouping up all these minions and spinning them down with one cast of Whirlwind. Already at 16 killed before Jailbait even shows up.
ETC still in the bottom lane, and it is a 5v4 down here. Look
Or
at that
remember
ult.
that stage dive could come in, and there it is.
Yep. So much damage going everywhere. Looks like that Malthael is in a lot of trouble, and Gall has to back out. He's getting healed by the Ana, though, and it's making a huge difference.
Last Rites not quite finding that kill onto H2O Kobo, and here comes that big threat of Cho'Gall once again.
Sonya going down. Does she get caught? Oh, she manages to make it out. That's miraculous.
Finds the potion trail and gets on out of there, but it looks like they're going to be rotating to the mid. They do have 30 of these minions. Interesting that they're already conceding this. It looks like they just realized that they're going to turn around and try to contest this shrine.
I was surprised they were leaving too, because they're significantly ahead here. And Malthael is here as well.
A huge Lornado trapping Cawthon. Could that be it for ETC?
Wow, that Aegis is definitely dead. There he goes.
One more auto from Synchrony seals the fate of the big cow.
Lots of damage goes into Roomba Rotations, but not enough. And now they've got this Immortal pushing the top lane as well. They've got a giant wave in the bottom lane, and they've got Malthael going to go split push. Clear lanes for his team. They have level 13s.
Level 13s are here. Super healing potion for Deckard. One thing that I noticed about Deckard's build that I didn't notice earlier, Zool Rules in the chat saying we do have a triple gem build coming out for Iron. Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald.
Yeah, seeing as I don't play Deckard, I have no idea what that means, but okay. I trust my viewers do.
That's a lot of extra buttons that Deckard has to manage there.
He can deal with it. He's a good Deckard. We have 6 structures to 4 right now, with Jailbait on the back leg.
Really opening up that experience lead now is Roomba Rotations. Almost an extra 2,500 experience. Oh, now 3,000 experience from those mercenaries. And 2,000 ahead on the minions.
King Andrew says he does not like the Malthael pick as a % damage. What would you have rather seen here, Maestro? Like a Vala or something like that?
I can definitely see Malthael as a last right spot versus this Cho'Gall, but as the game goes on, Ana will be able to get some extra burst heals into the Cho'Gall. Ults are committed here. Here comes the stage dive.
Slide onto that. Deckard pushed back, but Deckard is pretty tanky. He manages to make it behind those walls.
Sonya was taken out as trying to escape through that camp alcove. So that's 1 extra kill for Jailbait.
And even though they are up on kills, 4-2, Jailbait is still behind a whole level of XP. Thank you, Valkamer. Valk says that blue is extra slows, red is extra heals, and green is heal reduction. That is a lot of buttons.
A lot of extra buttons, a lot of extra choices, but you can definitely get some extra value if you're ready on that Deckard.
Looks like Malthael is thinking of something here. What's he gonna do? Oh, looks like he's just clearing the lane for his Merc camp to get to the keep wall, while his team shows up to steal this bruiser camp.
That is something Malthael can do with a little bit more impunity now that the towers in front of keeps and forts will not prioritize heroes.
This is a pretty ballsy move, but they do have their level 16, so they can do that. They can afford to do it.
Move on in. Lornado used to secure that point. 16s have now just arrived for Jailbait, and the Shrine's coming up in about 10 seconds, so not a moment too soon.
That bruiser camp did not get really any value because it was killed immediately by the blue team, but at least it denied the blue team capping it, and the red team having to deal with it during the Immortal.
This is where Cho'Gall really starts to shine. Gall has picked up Deafening Blast on 16. That's where your Runic Blast now silences for 1.25 seconds.
Oh, that can be pretty scary. There goes the silence on that Johanna. Cho'Gall dives in deep, following that Deckard. Tassadar ult comes out, pushing everybody away.
There's the last rites, but the Molten Block saving Cho'Gall. Ana going down, though.
Cho'Gall is dead as well. That's 3 kills. Down go the other 2 team members. That is a full team wipe. I would hope to see some push, some serious push here from the red team, but it looks like they are satisfied with just grabbing this objective. And a couple of camps. That's a bummer. I was really hoping to see them push the top lane like they had been, or, you know, push the mid lane, wherever. But do something.
It looks like MJ Doom did wait for the camps to clump up in the middle lane before grabbing this Punisher, so they're going to have quite the super wave here. But the rest of Jailbait will be up for the defense.
Oof, that's a lot of mercs.
That wall falling like paper. Nice little shove there by Gall to get Cho'Gall out of that stun. This Frozen Punisher is going to turn off this keep for just a moment.
Wrath of the Berserker comes out from Sonya. The best ult for Sonya, in my opinion.
Still half health on this Punisher. This could be trouble here for Jailbait.
Indeed, it's not looking great. Oh, ETC takes so much damage, ends up dying. And now the rest of his team is in a lot of trouble. MJ Doom, though, spinning to win, but is it enough? Not enough. He dies.
Sony will go down, but there goes Cho'Gall. The shields on the core are gone, and there's still a huge pack of Goatmen just sieging this core. I don't think Jailbait can stop this.
No? GG. Wow. Series upset. Team number 6 beats team number 3.
Very nicely done getting that super wave. Not really having to touch the core at all there, as the camps were enough.
Indeed. Ooh, what a series. That was really close.
Very,
It's
very
fun to
close.
watch.
All 3 games there. I thought the Cho'Gall 116 hit might have been able to turn things around. Those silences were doing some work, and the Molten Block to stop the mouthfeel was there, but ultimately just too much throughput, too much healing, and Roomba Rotations is victorious.
But how do you feel about an interview, Crush? Should I ask for one?
Sure.
All right, looks like we're getting an interview. I'm going to switch to NGS Discord, and I'll see you there.
All right.
Well, Zul Rules was saying 200 IQ Malthael panic pick. Well, it did work out well for them, so I suppose that is.
Looks like we have Synchrony with us.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Pretty good. I'm a little sweaty, but you know, it's all good.
How are you feeling about the wins tonight?
Pretty good. I mean, the first game was kind of unfortunate. I think we made some kind of miscalculations in that, and but I feel like we pulled it back in game 2, which was also pretty close, and then game 3, I feel like in general was really clean for us. So we're feeling pretty decent right now.
Congratulations, you move on to the next round in the playoffs. Are you excited?
Yeah, and you know, this will be for at least me at Idioms. I think this is our third season in a row in playoffs, and so
Wow.
we'd like to finish strong and actually win a grand finals at least once before we all decide to quit playing this game. So,
do you know who you're going to be playing next?
I don't know the bracket outside of the fact that I know the teams that are on the other side. So that's about it.
All right. Hold on. I think I have
Let me
the
take
bracket
a
here
quick
somewhere.
look. It's actually going to be Die for Vision. Took it over Tricky Gooses.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That was kind of we were very surprised by that, actually.
So we've got a double upset portion of this southeast bracket, as it were.
I think we're pretty happy with the upset over there. I think we were a little worried about Tricky Gooses, but now that we don't have to worry about them, I think we feel a little better.
I'm sure you're still also going to have to worry about the other team that actually beat Tricky Gooses.
For sure. Yes. Yeah. That's not to say that we think the other team is bad. Tricky Gooses just has a very unique play style, and I think we were a little worried about being caught off guard by their sort of strange picks in their game sometimes. So I think Diver Vision tends to play a little more straightforward. which is usually good when drafting against them. It means you kind of know what to expect. But in playoffs, everyone kind of has some aces up their sleeves. So
What?
hopefully,
So no Lost
good.
Vikings last pick or something?
Please
Or
don't.
Cho'Gall last pick. That was interesting.
I think most of our teams seem to be pretty surprised about it. I think Idiom said that he was kind of expecting something around it, so he held his pick just for that. And then he's played Mathiel for quite a long time now and is pretty proficient at it. So I think it worked out pretty well for us in this last game.
Yeah, worked out great for you guys. And looking at the stats from this last game, your damage was like nowhere near close, honestly, to the other team. But you somehow still managed to secure twice as many kills, which is very impressive.
Yeah, it seemed during the game that we kind of just we just needed to collapse on them and get a kill really fast. And Ana is really good about keeping one person up. But I think kind of the nice thing about specifically Malthael, Sonya, Cassia is all of them can sort of get on a target, and if you don't pay attention to them, all three of them can easily get a kill, even against like a Cho'Gall, Ana, right? And I think we played it pretty clean. Like we knew exactly what targets we wanted to be on, and we followed through with it.
Great work. Do you have any questions, Crush?
Yeah, so what did you think about all of the Alarak bans that you caught in this series? When I was doing my my pregame research, that wasn't one that I sort of came across my radar.
So we were kind of surprised about it as well. We sort of remember having one game, and the problem is we don't remember if it was during the season or if it was during practice or something, where we were playing an Alarak Jaina comp. But I feel like that was like super preseason. Like I don't think we played it at all. Me and Idioms did have a teammate last season that is known for his Alarak play. He's very, very good at it. He's level, I don't know, at this point, probably like upper 300s, 400s.
Whoa.
So he's very good at it, very proficient in it. Unfortunately, he was not playing with us this season, so I don't know if they were just super worried about it. I feel like H2O knows us well enough to know that particular player was not playing with us. So I think we find ourselves a little confused by the Alarak bans, honestly.
Well, everybody in chat was confused too, as well as us. So.
Maybe they were trying to throw us off. I don't know.
Other than that, we saw that Tassadar very well regarded in this series, but Deckard 3-0 in all of these games. What did you see? One thing I noticed in chat was we saw a triple gem build from Iron coming out in the last game there, which is a very involved build, but is that one that you know that he goes to a lot?
I've played with the Deckard with Iron quite a bit. I think Deckard is by far one of his more favorite heroes. I think specifically we were looking at it as depending on what we need. Obviously, rubies. If I feel like if you're not taking rubies at 4, then you're not playing Deckard correctly. It's absolutely a busted talent, and nothing else on that tier matches. As for the Sapphire and the Emerald, it is kind of strange, I think, for most people to go more than one gem build. But our kind of plan was 75% healing reduction against any of them, right? Cho'Gall, ETC, Tassadar is enough to almost completely negate any of the healing and self-healing, that they have plus Ana. And I think it worked out pretty well. We got some kills that I don't think we might have otherwise picked up without the healing reduction. And the Sapphire was for early game, being able to sort of slow down rotations, catch them, or even just keep them in place, right? We have a very melee heavy team, and all it takes is one good Sapphire into root to just kind of lock them down for that moment for all of us to jump on them. So I think that's sort of was the general plan there.
Very, very nice. The last question I had, we saw Jailbait come out, except for the last game, well, sort of the last game, with a lot of double tank comps. Is that something that you were expecting out of their drafts?
So I don't know personally. Like I think double tank is kind of an interesting position. Most of the time, double tank tends to be very, very weak late game, but really strong early game, right? You can sort of abuse the fact that you have 2 tanks that can just sort of sit wherever they want. I definitely think that caught us off guard game 1 a little bit. Obviously, Mal'Ganis did a lot of work in that first game, And we got basically couldn't do anything. Like Mal'Ganis was on our back line, and then that was it, right? They would just either walk past me or just kill me and then move through it because everyone else was sleeping. So it worked out really well for them. As the games went on, I don't really know how I feel about an ETC with a Cho'Gall. I don't think it's the worst thing, but I definitely think they should have picked something that may have been a little stronger for that particular role. But I think in general, double tank is totally a viable thing. You just have to be careful with wave clear. But Cho'Gall and Tassadar obviously have enough wave clear for the third game that you don't need a lot of wave clear coming out of your ETC. So.
All right. Well, those are my questions. Anything else from you, Dee?
Any shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to my team. We're relatively new. Obviously, me and Idioms have played together for a while, but the other three have just joined us this season, and we've been, working really, really hard. I feel even when we all managed to grind on each other's nerves one way or the other. But I think we've been playing very, very well, and I want to shout out to all of them for working so hard. Shout out to the friends of all of us that have been watching and keeping up with our games. I know H2O is our biggest fan, so shout out to him because we love H2O. He's Idiom's biggest fan at least. I know that the two of them are like super tight and close. Idioms loves him, obviously. So, and shout out to you guys and all the rest of the casters out there that are working hard and getting these games up.
Thank you. Well, I think that's all the questions I had. If Crush doesn't have any more, I'll let you go. Crush?
Nope, that's all from me.
All right. Well, thank you both so much. Thanks for co-casting Crush. That was a wonderful experience. And thank you so much for the great games, Synchrony. It was really fun to watch you guys.
Thank you guys
Best of
for
luck.
the interview and the cast and everything. Good luck. Have a good night.
Thank you. Night.
You as well.
All right. Well, that's it, everyone, for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I do not have any more casts this week. So maybe, hopefully, in the future, I might have one more before the season completely ends. But I might start just streaming my own games, fill some time, talk to you people, get some, have some fun. All right. So I'll see you guys soon. And thank you for watching. And if you haven't yet, please take a moment to follow and or subscribe. Thank you.